They let me pick. Did I ever tell you that? Choose whichever Spartan I wanted. You know me. I did my research. Watched as you became the soldier we needed you to be. Like the others, you were strong and swift and brave. A natural leader. But you had something they didn't. Something no one saw but me. Can you guess? Luck. Was I wrong?
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. My name is Tyler Davis, also known as Postums to many of you online, and I'm your host today for today's special Halo 3 stream. Today, we're going to be talking with some fine folks over on 343's publishing team about all the goodness that is going to be coming to you on July 14th next week when we release Halo 3 on PC. So today I am joined by Sean, Dana, and Max from the publishing team. Sean, why don't you go first and tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Hi, I'm Sean Swiderski. I'm on the production team working on MCC. I'll also be driving today, so you'll be seeing my point of view throughout the stream. But dude, the cat's out of the bag. July 14th, we're doing this. Like we're gonna have Halo 3 out on PC, so I'm fired up for the stream, Tyler.
Let's go. Next up, we got Dana. Dana, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, I'm Dana Jerbeck. I'm a technical designer on the publishing team working on all things MCC. Also really excited for Halo 3 on PC. I can't wait.
Yeah, no, we got a lot of stuff for you to talk about today. Last but not least, Max, do you want to let people know what it is that you do?
Yeah, so my name is Max Schlagor. I'm the design director for the publishing team. Just looking at all things current and future in design for MCC.
Sweet. First up, before we dive into some of the interview section, we actually have a handful of codes to go out for folks that are here joining us on the stream. So Sam is going to be helping me out today. Sam, if you want to drop a couple of codes for the folks in chat, we can get those out.
Dude, what codes already, man?
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah. No, gotta get it going right off the rip. So first up, Max, we've got so much stuff to talk through in terms of content that's going to be launching with Halo 3. I mean, we've got a brand new main menu update. We've got Season 2 coming out for MCC. We're going to be talking through the nonlinear functionality that's being added for Season 1 and Season 2 for people and how they're going to be unlocking the content from the seasons. And then even character customization in Halo 3 is being added, and challenges are getting a massive update. So, I mean, it sounds like a lot of things people have been asking about and wanting to come to MCC are finally coming along. So let's first take a look, Sean, at the main menu update. And Max, if you want to talk a little bit about what goes into these updates.
Yeah, so with each game release, we want to just kind of freshen things up, pay homage to iconic scenes, vehicles, weapons, whatnot from each game, and be mindful of what we've done in the past and what we're going to be doing in the future. And it's a very collaborative process to figure out like what exactly fits into these scenes, and it's a lot of fun. And with each one, we're just trying to showcase something a little new, something a little different there. So yeah, this one's looking great.
Yeah, now that BR is so mean. I love the way that thing looks. So with MCC coming out next week, we have Season 2 as well dropping. What are some of the things that players are going to be able to look forward to with the new season?
Yeah, well, let's actually take a peek. So we've got some updates here on our season hub. So if we take a look specifically, we can see like So first things first. So it is season 2, but season 1 is still available. So we're going to dive in and take a look. We've got a new icon and a new name for the season here. And as you can see, basically, if you go back, you can still see season 1 content is still there. It's still available. If you have not yet unlocked everything there, then you can continue to unlock things. Now, for the first season, the only way that you could unlock things was basically by leveling up. And for the first 100 times you leveled up, you got a season point. And then you could spend that season point in this season panel here to unlock an item, basically. That still works if you haven't unlocked those season points. Now, season 2, we've got a new way of doing that. We're just going to take a look at the season 2 content first, and then we'll kind of get into how the season points are going to work there. So for season 2, again, we freshened up the look of the season, the icon, the name, and we brought in over 100 new items that you can unlock for the season. You can see here, you got some visors, you have some weapon skins, you have some nameplates, vehicle skins. Now, all of these skins are actually part of new customization options that are available for Halo CE. These have never been there before. They're all new content, all new things to unlock, as well as a bunch of nameplates that you can use in your profile, wherever you want, and they pay homage to a variety of Halo-themed images. So now, if we want to go ahead and take a look, we can specifically kind of talk through what some of these items that you could earn here are. So we'll go back to customization and Halo CE, and you can see here now. You can take a look and you see the visor colors. You've got a variety of different options there. Those will work such that once you set the visor color, basically it's gonna look that way to players for the rest of the match. The weapon skins work a little differently. So when you go into the weapon skins and you have something chosen there for your various weapons, there's a new default skin when you have these enabled. And if you pick up weapons and you have something other than default set up, it'll switch to that as you pick it up, and then it'll stay that skin until you drop it. And then if someone else picks it up and they have a different skin, it'll switch to that one. And then the vehicle skins work similarly, except that it's tied to who the driver is. So whoever gets in the vehicle, they'll start out default, they'll get in the vehicle, it'll switch to the skin that they have picked, and then they'll be able to keep it that way until someone else picks it up, and then, or rather gets in the vehicle, and then it'll change to that. Now,
so what you're saying is, if I really want my skin, I need to go beat my friend out of the driver's seat so I can hop in and get my.
That's right. That's right. And, this is all new stuff. Some people may, we love these skins. Some people may want to preserve their original experience. So we want to be mindful of that. So we've actually added in an option into the options menu that effectively allows you to opt in to seeing these skins. And if you have that option set up, then you'll see them. If you have it enabled, there you go. It's the new skins option. And if you turn it off, then everything will show up as it originally did. So all the players that have it enabled will be seeing the skins, and all the players that have it disabled will not be seeing them.
That's awesome. Yeah. So I know one of the additional things that we're bringing in is the enhanced character customization for Halo 3, so that players can really get the look and feel of the elite that they have, the Spartan model that they have, and how they really want their character to look. So, and then I know Greg Herman did some awesome work so that the player emblem that you set up for your character is now actually going to appear on your shoulder again. I'm super excited to see those.
Yeah, so we wanted to get back and really expand customization, make sure that players had choice in the pieces they can select for Halo 3. So we've brought in the 3D models. As you can see, you can preview things in real time. You could switch out individual pieces and then preview them before you put them on. So you've got all of the individual parts there. And then we also went in for the colors, and we added back in the tertiary color as well. And that's another detail color on the armor that was missing before. And then, as you mentioned, yes, you can now see the emblem when you have that selected on the armor when you're playing in game.
I'm so excited for that to come back. I know that a lot of people in the community are going to be happy to finally get their emblems back on shoulders. Thanks, Max, for all those awesome details and what people have to look forward to. Next up, we're going to be talking with Dana. So, Dana, I mean, you've been super busy for the entirety of this year, working on some pretty awesome updates over in Forge. With this next update, I know people are going to have new objects that are coming into Forge, new ways that they can actually create maps in Forge. Forge is going to be coming to players on PC for Halo 3, Halo 2 Anniversary, and Reach. And then PC players now have the option to download files from FileShare. Do you want to talk a little bit about the overall improvements that have been made for Forge?
Yeah, absolutely. While we start talking about Forge, Sean, if you want to hop over to our Avalanche demo map in Halo 3, that'd be great. But yes, as you mentioned, Forge is coming to PC for all of the existing games in the collection that support it. So on PC right now, that's Halo 2 Anniversary, Halo Reach, and Halo 3. Forge is getting a number of upgrades. First of all, of course, there's full mouse and keyboard support as well as full rebindable keys support. But additionally, Forge is getting a lot of upgrades to the tools that are available, as well as the object palettes that are available to players. So in Reach and Halo 3, we've gone in and added a number of new objects from elsewhere in the game, things that were maybe present in campaign or in other multiplayer maps that you can now inject into your Forge maps. And we've also expanded the budgets and basically given players a lot more freedom to create content that wasn't previously possible, or to go back and touch up their old maps and make them look better than ever before, and that sort of thing. We also have a number of tool improvements that I mentioned. So Halo 3 Forge, for those who don't know, was kind of the introduction to Forge, and it had somewhat humble beginnings. It was really incredible what players could create with it, but we really wanted to kind of benefit from some of the additions and improvements that have been made to Forge in the years since, and kind of bring some of those back into Halo 3 so that Halo 3 was kind of operating at the same level as some of these other newer Forges. So in Halo 3, one of the biggest additions we've created is the ability to set objects to phased. So in the original Halo 3 Forge, if you wanted to merge objects together, you had to use a number of different glitches or tricks to kind of get these objects to do that. Now, if you just spawn a container, you can just set it to phased, and you can merge it into the environment or to other objects and merge things together really nicely.
I know that one of the coolest things that I'm looking forward to as well is some of the new vehicles that have been added. So I know I'm seeing in chat everybody's screaming out elephant on Avalanche. So it's that, and the anti-air wraith is one of the vehicles I'm super excited about coming online.
Yeah, we've got in Halo 3 a number of cool ones. The elephant and the anti-air wraith are big ones. Of course, the anti-air wraith was something that was previously only in campaign, and it wasn't even directly accessible to players. They can only get in it through kind of a glitch. So yeah, we've brought that in. It's super overpowered. It's crazy. There's also the transport warthog. There's a wrecked warthog that you can actually still hop on the turret for. Lots of cool vehicles there, as well as in Reach. Of course, we've also brought in the civilian vehicles, so you can drive your forklifts around. Finally, you got the space vehicles. Lots of cool gadgets there for people. So the Forge improvements are really there are things that allow you to visually upgrade your maps, but also things that allow you to inject like new gameplay opportunities into your maps.
I do see a question coming up in chat. Do we do anything with pelicans this time around?
We do not have flyable pelicans at the moment. That is something that would be great to have in the future. But no, flyable pelicans are one of the few things that we don't have vehicle-wise.
Okay, I'll try and get that trending for us. So.
Yeah.
Awesome.
One other thing that's important to note on all this Forge stuff, I know we kind of teed this up as a PC thing, and indeed the mouse and keyboard support and the rebindable keys and such are obviously PC features. But the rest of these features are all coming to Xbox as well. So all of the phase physics for Halo 3, there are other tool improvements like coordinate snap, rotation snap, the budget improvements, the new items are all coming to console as well.
That's awesome. So everybody's getting the Forge 2.0 updates. That's awesome. I'm excited for that.
As you can see there in that death cam, I tried to get the heart out there, but as Max had mentioned, the in-game, right, like that's been a bug that we've had since 2014. And it's not just in Halo 3, some are other games that offer the emblem on. It's just good to, again, align more to Legacy where we can. We're, juggling a lot of things in regards to the necessities that have to get fixed. And it's, we do have a giant bug backlog of, bugs that we want to fix and try to bring into these releases for, Halo 3, ODST, and 4 to come. But Dana, this is just one big sandbox. I'll be honest with you. When Dana said, or Doug said, he's like, yo, I got a map for you. It's, it's Avalanche demo. Grab it from my file share. Yeah, this just, again, is super exciting just for me. I'm not even a huge Forge player, mostly into the competitive scene is where you find me and playing MP and ranked playlists. But this is really awesome to see, like just all the customization and new things you brought into this experience.
Yeah, well, and speaking of, you mentioned Avalanche, players who used Forge a lot back in the day might remember that in Halo 3, Foundry and Sandbox were the primary Forge canvases. Each of these maps have received significant updates with the new objects and whatnot, but we also took the opportunity to make similar additions to Avalanche. So now you kind of have 3 main Forge canvases to play with, and each one has some unique objects on it, so you can kind of get different. Obviously, the backdrop of the map, the environment on Avalanche is very different from those others, but each one also has some unique flavor in the objects that are available, so players can have more power to create more varied maps visually.
Yeah. Just a note for people watching, when we launch on July 14th, I am down to play some golf with anybody who makes any custom golf games. I got to practice the swing before then. But this, yeah, I can't even imagine, Dana, like the amount of fun custom games there's going to be with this.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to see what people come up with. It's going to be insane.
I'm just waiting for the pole game type with the anti-air rates. So it's gonna be awesome. So there's another thing that you have been working on with Sean Cooper, Scoops. Over in campaign, people are gonna have a new skull that they're gonna be able to mess around with for the first time ever. Do you want to hop into some campaign gameplay and we can take a look at the new jetpack skull?
Yeah, let's go back in. I wanted to make sure Max walked through. You guys had seen there, right? Like the options and career menu. Let me drive to it. But I want Max to just dive a bit more into the challenge hub. We'll be able to equip the skull. We'll go to the campaign screen in a second. But Max, you want to walk through again just the UI change we've done here? Obviously, you touched on the Season 2 experience, like of where that lives and the option and careers here. But you want to walk us through the challenge hub?
Yeah, so let's go ahead and dive into the challenge hub. So as I mentioned, for Season 2, we've got a whole new way to earn season points and actually other kinds of rewards. And so you can see here in the challenge hub, basically, there's we're going to have a variety of different kinds of challenges. So you're going to have PvP and PvE challenges that are weekly. Those will obviously refresh, on that cadence. And then we also have longer term goals that are seasonal, which are going to take a bit more time. And for each of these challenges, you could see, like we talk about when they're going to expire. There's details about, what the challenge is, what kind of rewards you get, which could be a season point, it could be XP, it could be both, it could include items, so unlockable skins, for example. And it'll tell you, again, difficulties, maps, modes, and then the titles that everything is available in. So there's a lot of good stuff there to go through. And in addition, kind of related to what we were just talking about, the skull, there's another category here which we can use for events. And, those events can be a game coming out. It could be just, I don't know, something involving the Yappening or something like that, or other kinds of events that we may have, right? And then having some custom rewards there. So in this case, the skull. Now for challenges specifically, like another cool feature in here is, so it shows you the progress that you're going to make towards those challenges. And then in the upper left corner, you can also see there's those pin icons. And so we're gonna go through and demonstrate how the challenges will toast in the game. But basically, you can go through and pin a challenge that you're particularly interested in tracking, and then basically follow it on the main menu. So as you make progress towards it, you'll be able to see like where you're at for that. So Sean's just gonna pick one here, and then
I want to pick my infantry one, Dana. Infantry eliminator, right here. So I'm gonna pin that one. Because the campaign mission we will
there it is, yeah,
be able to offer that.
So now when it's pinned, if when you go back to that main menu, you'll see. So there's a couple other cool things that you'll be able to track here. So yeah, you've got in that upper right corner, then the progress for that will be shown. It'll be tracked. It'll be updated as you go back to the main menu. All right, and then yeah, I think we're gonna get set up for some campaign, right?
Yeah, we're gonna do the Covenant. We're show off some challenges here, as well as Dana, I'm gonna go over the skull right here in regards to the UI placement, but again, it's nothing too straightforward. It's gonna live in the skulls menu as we typically put these.
Yeah, and this skull is a direct challenge unlock as well, so it will be locked until you complete the associated challenge. But the Acrophobia skull is pretty cool. Acrophobia, for those who don't know, is the fear of heights, I believe. So the skull is actually a jetpack, essentially. And it's a bit like the jetpack you may be familiar with in Reach or Halo 4, but it's also a bit different. So the Acrophobia skull is super powerful. There's no fuel restrictions. You can just go flying. You have infinite fuel, and basically you can explore these classic campaign spaces like never before. So you can reach areas that were previously inaccessible. You can approach encounters from new ways. You can get cool like vistas that you couldn't previously see, and kind of just go anywhere. And it's super fun to zoom around with. And the skull uses a pattern similar to, if you're familiar with the jumper controls we added on controller, where to activate jetpack and reach, you would tap and hold your jump button. So this skull works the same way, whether you're on controller or mouse and keyboard.
So what you're
Real
saying is
quick.
nobody needs Hornets anymore.
Right.
Real quick, are any of you guys scared of heights? I don't think I've never asked this question. I am. I'll be honest. I'll come out. I'm a bit scared of heights.
You gotta be careful with this skull then.
But yeah, we're starting killing some AI here to see some challenges pop up in the bottom right. So keep an eye on that as I start getting into the action here. Got some grunts running around.
Yeah, so basically, as you're playing, whatever challenges are active, there's kind of be two different types of challenges. So some that track throughout, missions or matches, and then you'll see the toasts pop up as he defeats enemies here. And then there's another category of ones that are like finish a certain number of missions or matches or win games and things like that. And those ones are going to be represented at the end. But basically, it's every 10% of the way that you get through these challenges, you'll get a toast, and for as many that you may be tracking in that particular, or not even just tracking, but I guess active in that particular part of the game.
Oh man!
If I get one to pop with this.
You get one, yeah.
Oh, it's so nice that you're not gonna. That's pretty much the only spot you can actually steal that anti-air wraith. I honestly, I'm so excited. I'm so excited for the custom games with that guy on it.
Yeah.
So, Dana, do you want to talk a little bit about the workings behind the skull or the Acrophobia? I know. Scoops talked about it a little bit in the blog, but it was sort of a leftover remnant of some dev code.
Yeah, that's right. The skull was actually originally there was something called cheat jetpack in Halo. I think it's been around since Halo CE, and Scoops does break it down in the most recent dev blog. But it's a cheat essentially for testing the game. Sometimes if you need to complete a number of missions quickly, maybe you're trying to test something towards the end of a mission, etc. So it's a cheat to let you get through the missions exceptionally quickly and get to places you couldn't otherwise get to. We of course tuned it. We tuned the controls and the speed of it to feel a little more natural in gameplay. But I think that does kind of speak to how, its origin as a cheat kind of speaks to how insane this skull is. It's pretty crazy. And to that end, it is a non-scoring skull, so you won't be like turning this skull on and then breaking the world speedrunning records with it or anything like that. But it is super fun to just go mess around with.
I'm gonna do it. I think I'm gonna go for the skull. I'm gonna progress here to try to get some more enemies, see if I get one of those challenges pop. I know this account does have a lot, but yeah, as you can see, I am flying on the dime. I can just boom. You know what I mean? I can look around. I'm hovering in the air. And then, if I want to keep going, I can keep going. So I think this is honestly one of the coolest skulls I've ever played with.
And you definitely have to be careful when you're moving too fast and not hit some of the walls.
So yeah, during some of our dry runs, we'll see if I hit it here. But no, if I can hit a tree going really fast, boom! Like it just the funny stuff you're gonna be able to do.
Little hazardous for the health.
Oof. Yeah.
So I'm taking a look at chat to see if we have any questions about the skull or some of the challenges coming up. Let's see.
Yeah. I would say the biggest for those that participated in the flight from a few weeks ago, I think some of the initial feedback we got was just the placement that we had originally for the challenge UI was in the top right corner of the screen, like right by where my Spartan laser is out of ammo right now. And then Dana's moved it to be right above where my U nameplate is, or I guess not nameplate, but score is for this campaign mission.
Yeah, we made it a lot smaller and less obtrusive. We want you to be aware of your progress, but we don't want it to be.
I got one.
Too in your face. Yeah.
All right, 10% of the way there.
Yeah.
But yeah, there.
You go.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but yeah, so you actually, yeah, there you go. So yeah, they toast. You'll see the bar move, and like I say, that's it just depends on whether the challenge is tracked, kind of throughout the mission or end of the match. If it's an end of the match kind of thing too, there's also going to be some updates too, in the match made games, for example, like how the XP is displayed to let you know, where those challenges and the XP came from. So.
To answer one of the questions from chat, these skulls will be on the console version as well. This one is only for campaign, correct?
Yeah, you can only enable it in campaign.
All right. Well, thank you so much for showing off this crazy skull. It's so awesome. It's so crazy to see that all this stuff is coming in to Halo 3 and MCC on PC. Like, I mean, to me, it's just crazy to find, like, as somebody who grew up playing Halo 3 on console, to that now we're about to come out on Steam and Microsoft Store, and everybody now who didn't have a console back in the day is finally going to have an opportunity to play Halo 3 on PC. So I'm super stoked for it. Well, thanks, Dana, so much for walking us through all those pieces. I mean, I know there's a lot of old and new content that everyone's going to be able to experience for a first time together. So we're going to move over on to you, Mr. Dursky. I mean, with Halo 3 coming, we've got so many new features and quality of life upgrades coming along. We've got all the stuff for Forge. We've got an update that's going to be coming out for the ranked backend for ranked matchmaking. We also have Halo 3 and Halo Reach's audio is being upgraded in this update. We've got the Acrophobia skull. We've got Season 2 and the new unlocks there. All of the challenges updates that Max helped to walk us through. I mean, even the art team went through and touched up some of the several paintings for the cutscenes for Halo 3. And then the new customization for Halo 3. I mean, with you, what sort of customization are you going to be rocking in Halo 3?
Yeah, I was starting to do that a little bit before excuse me, we hopped off Max's screen or off his segment, but I'm definitely more of the Scout fan when it comes to the helmet. Like I've always loved the Scout armor set from Halo 3. Specifically though, you're gonna find me rocking it with the katana. It's got the legacy look and the legacy feel to it that I love and remember. But yeah, it'll be the Scout. The Scout armor is my go-to when it comes to Halo 3's armor specifically. I've come to realize playing with playing with friends and such, when we start looking at helmets and sorry, I actually go here to the legacy piece, but like if I ever equip the flaming helmet, my teammates are usually like, dude, you have camo. Like one of the things we don't take off with camo, and it's been there since legacy, like when Bungie had the armor, was the actual flames. So like I've learned the hard way when it comes to just having the flaming helmet on, is that I cannot be the guy grabbing camouflage because I stick out like a sore thumb.
Oh, that's awesome. Just a random ball of flame just running across the map.
Especially
awesome.
Something like Guardian, right, where you're playing this like ultra competitive map, and like grabbing the camo is like such an essential piece to break like an oddball setup. So if I go top middle with camo, you just see this like candle, like kind of moving top middle, and it's just like, yeah, I can't be rocking that armor when it comes to the competitive stuff.
Now, speaking of competitive, I mean, you played a ton during the flight. What sort of settings have you got set up for when you're running through? I mean, now with this being on PC, like you kind of got to rethink how you play.
Yeah, and it's I've learned a lot just as a gamer, because I was always a console gamer my whole life, right? Like playing, Halo professionally, previously before I started working on the team and working at 343. Like I was so used to the performance and just the things that you're limited to on a console, right? And I wasn't really a deep PC gamer. And now even working on this project from the beginning in the foundation, and having teammates that come, and when I say teammates, like the folks on the pub team, right? Max's experience, our other senior producer, Michael Farney, his experience on PC, like it's really helped me gain and grow a perspective of like the importance of how we build these games and the features that need to be there since really day one, right? And the things that are kind of like the must-haves versus the nice-to-haves. And so off the rip, like since we've launched Reach, I've found like 105 is my sweet spot when it comes to field of view. Like I don't know what it is. Like I see a lot of the pro players, like some like fluctuate, right? Like some like a ton of information to see on their screen and a ton of that real estate. Whereas I've noticed 105 is for me across all the games, right? Like a part of some of the features we're going to do down the road is just like, how can we make these options, specific per game, right? We only have these set up now to be global across games, but like 105 has seemed to just follow with me since Halo Reach into Halo 1 and Halo 2, and even now here with Halo 3. And, you see me playing 105 for the field of view. You'll see in regards to like VSync off, I'm gonna take that off to get like the best performance and the most frames I can get with my rig. I will give a shout out to IK Grub right now. He just made me a amazing rig. I've absolutely been loving it. I got to play. I actually didn't get to play the flight on it because the flight had ended just like as I was getting this. But I am so stoked. I'm gonna hop in for some early access, as that's coming on, just to give this thing really a good run. But like again, he's made me a machine here that is just. I've noticed it playing other games. I've noticed it playing this game in our dev environments. Like this thing is a beast of a machine. So again, another setting you're seeing me play with is obviously the frame rate off. Back to my segment there about like what we're limited to on console and like what our future consoles are bringing is really expanding that frames per second you're gonna get. And with this rig, when you're playing Halo 3 and you're playing Guardian, you're getting 300 plus 250 plus frames per second. Like from a competitive player standpoint, the feel you can't ever compare it to 60 frames ever again, like when you're feeling it from a controller or from a mouse and keyboard, right? Like it's uncomparable because it feels so smooth and so solid. So I've been loving it. Like PC has just opened my eyes to just again, I feel like how much room we can grow with these games, right, as we're bringing them with ODST and 4 to come over the next time, and like what we're doing sustain afterwards. It's really exciting. I'm stoked for the product, and hopefully a lot of this energy is getting you guys fired up.
Then I'm gonna have to reach out to Grub and see if he can build me one. So. Oh man, that's awesome. So I know, like we said before, you've played a ton of Halo 3 in the flight. You know, tell me a little bit about your history, and you were a pro before you worked at 343 Industries, and what, from your eyes, what do you think is going to be awesome to see with Halo 3 coming to PC now from the console background? Like, what are you most excited for to see the community do, to see with competitions, to see with all sorts of stuff of that nature?
So what I'm excited to see is, obviously the performance of this game and what we can offer on PC is, far beyond what we could do on the Xbox One, you know what I mean, in its current state. But seeing the performance and what we're going to be able to get there is awesome. And I think the next piece, like, we've seen all these games, right? And all these games have different aim assist values, different magnetism values, right? And like some are a bit more aggressive in regards to like how those games are implemented. And you look at something like Halo 3, which was made with projectile, and like honestly, I think this is a huge opportunity for mouse and keyboard players, with it being a projectile based game, to really, again, when they're on mouse and keyboard, having no, aim assist, right? Like, I've noticed from the flight, there were so many PC players. Nico is a player. Shelly, he was one player I noticed playing. Active was another player who I saw ridiculous clips from him throughout the whole flight of just like playing free for alls and no scoping and switching and cleaning up. And it's just, I'm super excited to really see what PC players come out, because at the end of the day, and what I look at the people that are playing, like, you have a lot of still controller based players, that have put almost at this point 15 plus years into these games playing out a controller, right? And you have these PC players who have been playing other games, but now they're getting into Halo, or they're picking up mouse and keyboard for Halo. That I'm super excited to see that differential, and that hopefully that competitive spirit between the console or the controller players and the PC players.
Yeah. No, it's exciting. Like, I know that we talked a little bit about it in our blog. And you wanted me to talk a little bit about today was the hit registration and the investigations that we're doing on our end right now, for Scoops. Like, he did a deep dive into taking a look back at how Halo 3's implementation for hit registration was put in. I know we've talked about it to quite an extent, but how are the investigations going? How are we looking at rolling out updates for that sort of stuff?
Yeah, so first and foremost, like, these games, when we're porting them over, they've had issues previously from their legacy state, right? And what we've done now, and we're aware of this feedback, and especially the Reddit, there's Reddit threads, right, that are having a lot of upvotes on it, and a lot of conversation on it. So as a team, we are aware of these, but the way we're going to go about this is we're going to really dissect the legacy code that's there. There's a lot of things that were there from a foundational piece that we really want to discuss with our engineers and evaluate internally. So we're going to take our time first and foremost, and we're going to flight this. So this isn't something that we would expect to just drop into a game, and just throw in. We really want to get the community's thumbs up, especially if we're making some of these changes. You have to think, once you start diving into this legacy code and you mess with the networking stuff that was established there since 2007, at this point, we want to make sure we make the right fix, and we also want to make sure that we eliminate any other, risks that could bring on, right? Like, a lot of times, some people may interpret, just fix it for MP, you know what I mean? And when you start tuning these things and messing with these things, you also need to make sure you're testing and keeping an eye out. Does anything change on campaign, right? Are there any areas of the game that, like, as we turn these knobs, are we breaking other things? You know what I mean? So the takeaway there really is just doing the due diligence. We're going to, again, take our time and have our very talented engineers evaluate, and then we're going to flight, most importantly, and we're communicate with the community when that flighting will occur. And once we get that thumbs up and really that approval from the group, that are very spoken about this, right? Like, we want to bring that into the live retail product when it's ready.
I'm excited for that. I know a lot of people are. So if you want to, you can go ahead and hop into some campaign. I'm going to start taking a look at chat and seeing what sort of questions folks have that we can talk about at this time.
It was the map painting, which I'll hop into.
Oh, yeah.
Before as you look at questions, just from like a production standpoint, as we look at okay, we know Halo 1's coming out, we know Halo 2's coming out, Halo 3's coming out, and we have a baseline of what the console experience has been. We look at, especially when you have a very talented art team, we have. Like, we look at what things do the artists want to do to help make this show up better, right? Or to help kind of jazz it up a bit, you know. And a lot of these paintings, or you're seeing here in the cinematic scene, are, you know, when we port them over, you know, we make sure they're 4K, but some just appear low res, right, or lower quality. And so we did some brush ups there, just to make these things, you know, really jump out and really look clean as we launch the title. So it's some of that minor detail, but it's stuff that we wanted to make sure our team had bandwidth to do. So, like, as an example, this Halo ring scene, right? Like, there's again, through a stream, not sure with the quality that some people may have, but like, you'll notice when you get this game on July 14th, like, you're gonna see the detail here of what we've done to really brush up some of these, you know, legacy paintings.
Yeah, so I see a handful of questions that have been coming in about season 2 and season 1 unlocks and stuff like that. And Max, if you wanna just reiterate how unlocks are gonna work for season 1 and season 2 in conjunction.
Yeah. So as I mentioned, season 1 unlocks will still be available. If you have not finished unlocking the items, they're not going to go away. You can still earn those items. If you'll still be able to level up through the 100 ranks, basically, to earn those season points that way, or to get the season points via challenges, and then you can apply them to either season 1 or season 2. So yeah.
I know people are super excited, so I have people asking about the skins and stuff like that, and you know, they see that for season 2 we're doing Halo CE focus, but they're excited to see or hear if we're going to be doing more stuff for some of the other titles when future seasons. So we got stuff that we're working on, but nothing to talk about just quite yet over there. I see questions coming in about mod tools and a handful of different things that we've talked about in our dev blogs. So if there's features that we haven't talked about today here on stream, and there's stuff that we have previously discussed, you'll definitely want to check out each month's development blog for MCC. At the very end of them, we do a full recap with Michael Farney, who is the senior producer on the MCC project, who basically goes through all of the community requested features and what their status is, you know, when we're looking to bring them in, whether they're coming into flighting and stuff like that. So I see a lot of the questions that are coming in here are all of them are in those dev blogs. And basically a lot of the different ones that people are talking about right now, like crossplay, input-based matchmaking and stuff like that. Some of those are still in design iteration, but you'll definitely want to check out those dev blogs. Thank you so much, Sticker Boy, for dropping that link right there into chat.
Yeah, I think I want to touch on that one a bit, Tyler, with the features, just to give the group, I wouldn't say the group, but the people watching at the moment right now. But, you know, we know we have ODST, or first and foremost, we know we have Halo 3 coming on July 14th. We know we have ODST coming. We know we have a Halo 4 coming, right? But like, as we're partnering with Saber, our partner right now, and we're looking at these features and the roadmap of what that looks like, I can say today, custom game browser, we've begun development on that, right? And so that is something that we were confident at this moment to say things are happening there, right? When we look at crossplay, input matchmaking, these are things that, again, I'm not going to say we've started development just yet, but these are things that are right behind that and right on the cusp of getting into MCC when they're ready. And I think one area where I really want to just sort of address from a philosophy standpoint, and I'll ask Max these questions. Max, when it comes to, like, let's break it down of like CGB, crossplay, and input matchmaking, like, what are some philosophy goals for like all three of those, starting with custom game browser?
Yeah, so with all of these cases, we're basically expanding the ways that you can play multiplayer. And so custom game browser specifically is meant to be a place where maybe some of the game types that don't make it into the matchmaking pools, it's a place for people to find and play with each other in those types, you know, to share them out and, you know, get their race on, or, you know, get their, you know, what other kinds of modes that they may want to play that maybe aren't going to be big enough for a matchmaking pool, but allows people to play that way. You know, and then, yeah, with respect to the other features, again, it's all just about choice and giving people ways to engage with multiplayer, like how they want to. So saw a lot of comments, specifically around crossplay, around input-based matchmaking, and we want those to be things you can opt into, that you can choose to do. Basically, if you want to play with a certain set of folks, a certain control method, like those are things you can choose to do, or maybe you want the biggest pool of people you can play with. And so that's kind of how we think about a lot of things, is just giving people the tools and the choices to really customize multiplayer like the way that they want to play.
Yeah, and that hits it on the spot, right? Like, the choice is the most important thing, especially when you're bringing, PC and these consoles, these Xbox One consoles into the mix, right? Like, giving the users the choice is, and I can agree with Max there, is like one of our most important pillars that we want to make sure we land really well with these features. And as I think we always say, Max, like, even thinking about the custom game browser, right? Like, to kind of go off what you're saying, there's so much Halo in this game, and I think we always say it too. Like, I'm gonna look at our test lead, Eric Helbig, right? Like, there's just so much Halo, right? And even from his team's perspective of, like, when we're looking at features and when we're looking at things that are coming down the pipe, right? Like, coordinating and making sure that we're, looking at these things and queuing that up, and there's just a lot of Halo in this game.
That's where flooding comes into play and is so important. So, each of these changes, like we've heard from the community that that you guys all want this, and making sure that we design it properly, we build it out properly, we vet it internally, and then once we believe it's ready, getting it in front of the community via our flooding, and make sure everything checks out, and then get stuff into game when it's ready.
Yeah. And I was going to say, speaking of choice too, Dana, do you want to talk through a little bit of the challenges update that you did there?
Yeah, of course. So previously and we started to change this with the Halo 2 launch, but originally campaign and like custom games and stuff weren't really viable ways to earn XP. You could only really earn XP from playing matchmaking and such. So we wanted to ensure that. Oh, Dursky, what are you doing?
I just want to take a swim, dude. I want to take a swim.
Spartans cannot swim. Sean,
I need to see what my keys are set up to, but continue.
But yeah, so with challenges, it was really important that we provide things to do and things to earn across all of MCC. So if you're a campaign player, you have paths to earn season points and unlock stuff. If you're more of a PvP player, you have a path there. If firefights your thing, whatever it is, like you're going to be able to play your mode of choice, and you're going to be able to play it the way you like to play it, and you're going to be able to be rewarded for it. And also on the subject of just that like flexibility there, I don't know that we really touched on it, Max, but the new unlock system for the seasons as well. So in addition to now having the choice of whether you want to spend your season point, which again, a season point is a virtual currency. It's not a real, you're not spending real money here or anything, but whether you want to spend your season point in season 1 or season 2, but also within each group of unlocks within each season, you now have a little more flexibility. So in groups of 10 tiers, you'll be able to unlock in any order. And you have to unlock that group of 10 before moving on to the next group of 10. But if you're, you get to page 5 of the season, and you're like, man, that pistol skin at tier 55, like that's what I want. I'm getting that first, and you can do that now. Or the same thing applies to the Reach season as well, retroactively.
Oh, interesting. Speaking of some of the skin stuff, there was a question that came in from Novelicious. With skins coming to the game and seeing how gold is unlocked through challenges, would it be possible to see event-based skins become a thing?
Yeah, we've got a lot of challenges are a great way to drive all sorts of rewards for events. Historically, those have been primarily nameplates from your Yappening events or the Winter Contingency, or when we do like the old Valentine's event, whatever it is. We've historically done nameplates, but I think we have we're kind of putting more tools in the toolbox now with these skins and such as well.
No more manual grants.
Right. No
I
more
I know everybody's happy about that. So let me take a look. Let me see. Oh, this is a good question. It's with Acrophobia Skull coming into Halo 3, seeing as it was originally the dev tool was originally for CE. Could we ever see something like that come to other titles within the collection, like CE?
It's certainly possible. I don't have a concrete answer for that.
So Bandana Skull win?
Could happen.
This is where Dana and Scoops, or Duck and Scoops, just you kind of sign into the build one day and you're like, what we got? Oh, we got new skulls. Can you guys tell us production about this? What did you guys do? Just a new skull.
Nothing to see here. So, I mean, that's a lot of what happened with the yappening for Halo 2. I remember you guys went just like ham looking up and finding out what you could pull from campaign into multiplayer. So I know people absolutely love that, and I see questions from the community all the time about bandana skulls and when a lot of these are going to be coming to multiplayer. So there's I'll give you some late night coffee if you ever want to make those a thing.
Yeah, there are lots of great opportunities just with having all of these Halos in one place together to kind of sample and pull things maybe from one game to another, or pull things like we've done with Forge for like the skulls for Halo 2, like taking things that were previously in campaign and bringing them into multiplayer. Just things that like take something that was cool that already existed and let players experience it in a new way, or in a different sandbox is really exciting.
I don't know, like Sean said earlier, there's just so much Halo in this collection. It's crazy. So I know this question is we kind of answered this a little bit before in some of the dev blogs, but in terms of view models, I know that there's work being done right now to adjust the view models. Which titles are people going to be able to do view model adjustment in across the MCC?
For when it comes to view models, sorry, I'm just in this game. I'll stand away for a second. Let me put up. I think I got a deployable cover. See what this does. Pray that I stay alive. So for in regards to view models, it's a part of the future work that we're doing. We actually got to a point with it where we made a lot of progress in Halo Reach originally with it. As of right now, we have no specific time or no timing of like when that's going to come out, but we're going to take a lot of that foundational work that we did for Reach and see how it applies to 1, 2, 3, and all the other games, right? And kind of going back to what I was talking about with some of the values of the aim assist differs and everything. Like, we want to make sure we're doing this correctly as we imagine there's complexities as we bring that into each of these games, right? So we got to a point where in Reach we feel like we've gotten it to a good state. However, when we look at this feature all up, we want it to be applicable to all, and a feature that really ties to each title individually. It also looks like I didn't die, so thank you, team.
All right. Well, I know we have a handful of more codes to give out. So, Sam, if you wanna drop in a chat a couple more of those. For those who are asking, the game codes that are being dropped into chat are for MCC on Steam. So you'll be able to take those and get MCC running up on PC. I can sort of answer this question, but I think, Max, you could possibly tag on a little bit. There's a question of if we have any plans on revisiting or tweaking the controller aim assist in MCC on PC. So I know we have talked about we're not planning on adjusting it, but in the future, part of that future work that you were talking about, Sean, is making it so that people could have input-based matchmaking. Is there any specific reasons or philosophy behind not touching the aim assist, Max?
There is actually a reason behind that, which has to just do with how the game processes aiming and how that the weapons function with those features. So there are side effects to changing a bunch of how that may work. But like you mentioned, I mean, we're looking for ways that for people that don't want to play like controller with mouse and keyboard or whatnot, that they'll have ways that they can opt into the input methods they want to play with.
Yeah, I mean, our biggest thing, like that we've been talking about, is we want players to be able to play how they want to play. So I mean, like with the new customization options that are coming in with Season 2, you know, if you really want to relive that classic experience, you can shut those skins off and you don't have to see them. So it's a nice thing to see. I'm very happy and excited to see a lot of these features come. Oh, people are asking if you want to hop back over to Forge. They want to see some of the vehicles that are coming in.
Yeah, of course.
So, oh man, I'm excited for the pole game type that I know people are going to play. I did see a question earlier. Do you know off the top of your head, Dana, what the max number of mongooses are going to be available on maps?
You can place in Halo 3, you can place 16 mongooses. In Reach, I believe it's also 16, and it is mongooses. To be clear here, it's not mongoose, Tyler. It's mongooses.
We're not friends anymore.
Yeah, I believe you can place 16. We did bump up the per object like quotas on a lot of things across Reach and Halo 3, so you can place more of a given weapon or more of a given vehicle. Also, I guess kind of tangential, another note there, another thing we did for Halo 3 was there were, in Legacy, there were weapons that were not on various maps. So like maybe the fuel rod gun wasn't present on this map, or the plasma rifle wasn't on that map. So another thing we've done here is brought all of the weapons to every map. And so, of course, in Forge, you have more flexibility there, but also just in like Fiesta, you can get your Sentinel beams up in Fiesta, or your fuel rods and stuff, and get some crazy stuff going on that wasn't previously available.
Nice. It's a flying elephant.
That is a flying elephant.
I want to try to flip it. It's hard getting it on the side, but when you flip the elephant, it's like the craziest thing in the world. Like how much power. I mean, it's Master Chief, right? Like, don't underestimate the power. But like, you just send that thing flying sometimes.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh man. So what? Go ahead.
Yeah, as you say, and we're looking at the Halo 3 Forge stuff here. I did see some folks asking about just Forge for the other games and what we're looking at there. So I don't know if how much you talk about, Dana, or if you want to reiterate, it's like some of the changes that we're looking at for the other games as well.
Yeah, we can touch on that. So one of the additions we've made for Forge for all of the other games that are out on PC is the addition of a rotation axes toggle. Players may have discovered this in the flight for Halo 3, but I think it's even more noticeable in Reach. So in Legacy, in Forge, when you were rotating an object, you were limited to the world axes. So that meant if you rotated an object horizontally and then wanted to rotate vertically, it would skew the object, and it was kind of difficult to work with. So we've added a toggle so you can actually switch to the object's local axes, and then you have way more control over how you rotate and that sort of thing. It sounds a little complicated. Hopefully, if you're someone who's experienced with Forge, that probably sounds pretty cool to you. If not, maybe that's a little uninteresting. But it is just another tool in the Forge toolbox to let people create things that they couldn't create before, or to create things more efficiently than before.
Yep. Well, we are getting pretty close to the hour mark, so I want to go ahead and say thank you, guys, for joining us today. I mean, I never would have thought at the beginning of this year we were going to be doing Halo 3's release from home, doing the stream all completely remotely. So it's been an absolute joy being able to hop on here with each and every one of you. I am so excited to play Halo 3 on PC next week. So like I've got my PC machine all set up. Like I'm canceling all my meetings that day, so you guys aren't going to see me in the war room because I'm just going to be in playing. But thank you so much for hopping on with us today and diving through Forge, diving through challenges. Season 2 unlocks everything that's coming. Do you guys want to just, each of you want to tell me what you're super most excited about come next Tuesday? Start.
You want me to start?
Yeah, go for it, buddy.
Yeah. I think it's playing Halo 3 on PC. Like hands down, that's what I'm excited for. This is something that again, outside the flight, right? Nobody's ever really seen, ever experienced. So to have us deliver this, we're excited. And just kind of a last note to everybody following, right? Like we've come so far with MCC and bringing it to PC. And again, as Tyler mentioned, right? Like during and because of the conditions right now, like I'm very grateful that, you know, we can do this from home and we can do this together and to get this out into your hands as we're going through these tough times. So yeah, Halo 3 is coming to PC. That's what I'm most pumped for next Tuesday.
How about you, Dana?
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as Sean, really. We've touched on a lot of cool features that are sort of supplementing Halo 3's launch, and I'm really excited about all of those. But to me, like Halo 3 is my favorite game of all time, and just like playing it at higher field of view, especially, and with the centered crosshair, higher frame rate, like all of that combined, like just takes Halo 3 to the next level for me. And I'm just super excited to just play an absurd amount of Halo 3 matchmaking when it drops.
Woo! I'm excited. How about you, Max? What are you looking forward to most?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I've been working on MCC for a long time, so I'm just really happy to see our customization, you know, getting expanded, and being able to see those new models in there, like being able to actually add the new content for Halo C. Like it's crazy. Like who would thought, you know, that we could add these like new skins and yeah, and then just like looping that into the challenge system as well, which is another feature that I've just been like waiting to like, you know, get it there. So just feeling good about like the whole game, just sort of continuing to build that out and just have a good story there. I mean, obviously I'm super hyped to play Halo 3 on console, on PC, like with these features. But yeah, like just seeing it all come together is really great.
Yep. I know. I'm excited to continue working with the community and how we develop each of these games. I mean, from how we talk with the community in our dev blogs to how we interact with everyone during flights and hear feedback from everyone. You know, if people are on the stream and don't know about our flighting program, definitely if you want to check it out at aka.ms Halo Insider. We have a program where we invite people to come help test out the games before they come out and give us feedback on what we need to update, what they'd like to see. Once Halo 3 releases, you know, we've got a couple more games in the MCC collection coming up behind it, next with ODST, which is going to have ODST Firefight coming with it for the first time to MCC. So if you haven't registered, definitely go in, register, and we can get flighting kicked off here in the not too distant future after Halo 3 drops. But I want to say thank you to everyone who has joined in with us today to come check out the stream, and thank you Max, Dana, and Sean for hopping on here and answering all the questions. And before we go, we have one more set of codes that we're going to go ahead and drop. So go out with a bang on the stream. But thank you everyone so much for joining us, and we will see y'all online.
Thank you.
Thank you.
They let me pick. Did I ever tell you that? Choose whichever Spartan I wanted. You know me. I did my research. Watched as you became the soldier we needed you to be. Like the others, you were strong and swift and brave. A natural leader. But you had something they didn't. Something no one saw but me. Can you guess? Luck. Was I wrong?